Oops, I did it again. I bought me some Smurfs. It cost me money, and it really hurts. Hi, everybody. Matt here from Matt Likes Comics. Yes, there's my bad Britney Spears impression. But anyway, I digress. I went to a toy show this weekend. I took my son because my son is a toy collector. I think he's going to be one of those kids that continues to collect toys into his adulthood and such. So I knew he'd have a good time, so we went there. It wasn't just toys, though. They call it the Toy and Collectible Show, and sure enough, there were video games, toys, Lego. Well, I mean, Lego is toys, right? But there were some comic vendors. There were some vendors of anime stuff and stuffies and all that other stuff. That was pretty cool. But what I'm going to do today, my son was very happy. He got himself some Lego figures that he was looking for and a video game he really wanted, and he was the happiest I've ever seen him at a convention. I've taken him to about 15 to 20 conventions over his lifetime. He's 17, and usually it's 10 minutes after we get there, it's like, Papa, I hate the crowd, let's go home, that kind of thing. Well, this time he stayed and he had a blast, and I was very happy for him. Because it was a toy show, there were Smurfs obviously available, and I said to myself I wasn't leaving without a couple of Smurfs because I don't get the opportunity to buy them very often in person, so I wanted a chance at it. But I also got a small stack of comic books. So that is what we're going to talk about today. Basically, what I got at this toy show. Dun dun. First, I've been watching House for something to do. Sometimes I put on the background when there's no YouTube I'm watching. And this Smurf made me think of that with the cane and all that stuff. So I got this one. I don't have him. He's hurt. I don't know what happened to him. Maybe he walked into a wall when he saw the next Smurf figurine I'm going to show you. The next one is already my new favorite. If I had known this existed, I would have moved heaven and earth to find one. I just found out this existed and I got it, and that's Cheerleader Smurfette. I just can't believe I got this. This is so awesome. Thanks to watching football my entire life, I've become a fan of football cheerleading squads, and I like to think that she's there cheering for the Buffalo Bills. I mean, she is wearing red, blue, and white, so let's go Bills. Those were the toys I bought. My wallet hated me a little bit after this, but I didn't spend as much as I could have because there was a lot there I would have got. I could have bought every Smurf I didn't have, for example. But let's move away from the Smurfs and get to the books I actually got. There were a couple of vendors I had never seen before. Whether they're doing other shows and I just never go, or whatever the case may be, there were people there that I hadn't seen. So I tried to give them some business because that's who I am. That's what I do. But also my good friend Dave from Kaboom Comics was there, and I did buy this. I have not owned any of the Savage Sword of Conan magazines. So I bought my first one, and this is issue 148. It is really cool to have one. I have some of the Dark Horse collections when they put them into a collection similar to the Marvel Essentials or the DC Showcase Presents. But I only have like the first 4 of those then, and there were 20 some. So I'm assuming that this particular one, being issue 148, is not in those ones. So I've got a chance to read some new Conan, which I'm very happy. I have never bought the magazines because I've been concentrating when it comes to that character on the comic series from Marvel and some of the other ones. I mean, when I see the Dark Horse ones for $1 in the bin, I pick them up. But the Dark Horse, etc., is not my key, not my priority right now. This I bought. This is Batman 347. I bought this. It's a pure cover buy, but I liked it. Batman is saving a man from a fire. At the same time, it says A Tale of Two Boys, the Inner City, and the Shadow of the Batman. Pretty cool. This is a Rich Buckler and Dick Giordano cover. Next up, I did a video on this group sometime in the last year. When I finished that video, I thought, I'm going to get the rest of them. It's only a 15 issue series, and it was one of the ones from the DC explosion that ended up becoming the implosion a couple years later. So I found one I didn't have, and this is the Secret Society of Supervillains number 8, which is yet another patented DC Gorilla cover thanks to Mr. Grodd on the cover. Grodd is holding Captain Atom while Kid Flash is fighting him, and the Trickster's trying to save Grodd. One thing about this series, if you haven't read it or seen my video, a good chunk of the super villains in this series are from the Rogues Gallery of Flash. The next book I'm going to show is one I bought off one of the people I haven't seen before, and it falls into the I have to have it because it's a go-go check. This is Black Hawk number 231. It's out of the bag because I had to pull it open in order to verify the number, because the number is here and it is really, really hard to see. It's green on black, or late brown or whatever. So it's actually really hard to see, so I had to open it. But this is Black Hawk 231. And as you can tell, it's got go-go checks. And it's go-go checks mean go get it, Matt. So this is another book that I bought. As I've said many times, I need to get more of the non-Marvel and DC older books because I didn't read it as much when I was younger. This here is Fightin' Army from Charlton, number 141. This is from the 70s because it's a 40-cent book. It's in very, other than these two marks here on the cover looks pretty good. And I'm hoping that the stories are decent. One thing that I did find difficult at this show was I literally went and I looked in every box for Action Comics I didn't have, or Adventure Comics I didn't have, or Superman's Girlfriend Lois, or Pal Jimmy Olsen. You know, the usual books that I look at, right, as a Superman collector. I could only find one book from the Superman thing post Golden Age, because there were a couple Golden Age ones, but I didn't have $400 or $500 to spend. So we'll eliminate that part. In the boxes, I was only able to find one super book that I didn't have already. And I found this at Kaboom Comics, Dave's group. And this was Superboy 91. And it's a pretty cool cover because Superboy is looking at a civil war. Is it a reenactment? Is it real? I can tell you, I know the story because it's been reprinted elsewhere, but it is a cool one. So I look forward to doing this. And at least it's a 10-cent Superboy, so I know I'm doing okay there. Superboy 91. And the last book that I got at this little show is a cool one. I bought this off Nefarious Comics. Ryan was at the show. So I was flipping through and I happened to see this and I said to myself, I've got to buy this. This is so ridiculous that it's funny. This is Madhouse Comics 111. And as you can see, C-3PO and R2-D2, although they're not really C-3PO and R2-D2, are on the cover, and apparently the R2-D2 unit has fallen in love with the mailbox. This is from 1978, so it was just after the movie came out. And I remember as a kid that after the movie came out in May 77, Star Wars was everywhere. I had t-shirts myself. I had Jedi. You know, I had a blaster. I had a lightsaber. I even had these guys. These were my first two action figures I got. I got them to Christmas for Christmas, and it was a lot of fun. Star Wars was a lot of fun back then, and it was cool that they were doing covers like this to cover that. If you liked what I did today, please like, comment, and subscribe below. Please tell me anything you thought was crazy, anything you liked, anything you didn't. If I should never sing Britney Spears again, that is a valid thing to say. I'm never going to do it again. Oops, I did it again. Oops, never mind. So, thank you very much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed this video. My name is Matt. I like comics, and I hope you do too. Bye, everybody.